Hey everybody, Jeremy Redman here with Kyle.
How's it going?
Okay. In this one, we just got a question into support that was, can you record in multiple tabs? So we're going to demonstrate how you record in multiple tabs. One is a redundancy that we created for people, and another one has intentionality behind it, but it's a little more tricky to understand. So let's start with the unintentional one, Kyle.
All right. So I'll add an automation.
You start adding an automation. Okay. So you go to web, right? Because you want to record on web.
Yep.
And now that opens and you want to go to your first site.
Let's go to Google.
Okay. Okay, great. You see that it recorded this on your first tab. Record a click or something on this tab. Amazing. You have action here. Now, do the plus sign at the upper. So the normal way you would do a tab. Okay, now enter another address. Okay. Did we grab that?
We did. So once we tried it, there it is.
Nice.
Load on the page. So it looks like it might have checked it twice, which I think is us changing tabs and then adding a new page in a tab. But we only need one of these change tab steps. So
now this makes sense. So yes, so you can delete one. So delete one, Kyle. That's fine. Okay. So now here's where it gets somewhat confusing. Here it says it knows the step is change tab, but then it says 2. What does 2, intuitively speaking, I can imagine 2 is the second tab I opened, right?
Correct.
Or if you're going left to right, it's most likely the second tab after the first one. All right, it's one. It's one. Go to tab 1, Kyle. Highlight over. There you go. Go to tab 2. Okay, great. So, and then if you added one more, would it be 3?
Yeah.
Show me how that records. Boom. Great. So we're right. So it is from left to right counting. Tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. Now, that is how it grabbed the change. Is there anything you want to add there, Kyle?
If you want to go over what the number inside means at some point, but no, you covered it all so far.
Okay, great. So that is how you, and then you can just, so start recording. You saw the suggested steps. So go to tab 2.
Yeah, let me deny this and go here, and then I'll add this.
Now, this is because you did multiple steps before confirming them ahead of time.
Correct.
So without intention, before saying you want to make a click step and do it, and you just ran off and did it, it gives you a black screen and says, confirm those steps that you did, which ones you want, and which ones were intentional and which ones weren't. So that was that thing you saw. Now, make a type step or something here on tab 2.
So clicking create new account, and then that might not do anything because I don't think I filled anything out, but that's the
no, that's fine. But now it recorded actions on tab 2.
Correct.
So from tab 1
is going to go to Google. So the automation always opens with one tab, this first tab, and it's going to go to Google, click search, and then it'll change tabs, which changes here, which it might need to create, which it tells us it does if we click into things. And then it does the click step here.
Great. Now, this is the unintentional way, the natural way you add a tab without intentionally clicking a button beforehand. Like, I'm going to click this, and then you go to click it, confirm it. I'm going to type this, and I'm going to go into the window and type it. We have that intentional button, don't we, Kyle?
We do.
So if you know you want to change a tab, you can do it the unintentional way, which is the way we just showed you, which is just clicking plus and entering the URL, and we capture it. Okay. What is the intentional way, Kyle?
In the what's next option, we can click change tab.
Okay. How does that work?
And then we select the tab we want to change to.
Okay.
So the semi-technical is what.
So now that we did this, though, Kyle, let me interrupt you. Now that we did this, I understand this more, because what I'm seeing is how you create a new tab is the natural way, right?
Change tab is also create tab. the
Ah,
create page
okay.
if it doesn't exist.
Okay, great.
But
So if I put 3 in here, right?
mhm,
Then it would create a new tab?
you'll probably need to play the step because we
Okay.
aren't really too sure what you've done yet. But if I
Okay.
click save here,
Okay.
and then this was the change tab. If I click play here, it'll create that.
That's cool.
And
That's
because
pretty
we
cool.
have no, this is always the default page is about blank. That's just
Okay.
how
Yeah.
websites work.
Yep.
So what we would need to do is after we change tabs, we can obviously enter a URL here and enter whatever we wanted. And then we would want to add that as a go to page step by clicking plus and go to page. So you might need to handle the first website of that tab when it loads because it's not like
So
a
wait,
change tab and
Kyle,
load.
pause. Say
Yeah.
that again. Say that again.
Okay.
So it just making it in a change tab, or in this case, an open tab step,
Yeah.
isn't necessarily typing in the URL.
Correct. Change
Okay,
tab
hold
does
on.
not
Wait,
open up
hold
the
on.
URL.
So now when I'm going, if I go in there and I click the button, edit new, make new tab in here, change tab, right?
Yeah.
And I do 3. And then I go and type in facebook.com. Does that not capture it in here?
That is not recorded. We are trying to record that. The problem with recording and suggesting those is when websites open and close browsers all the time for
Mm,
authentication, that those would
okay.
get suggested nonstop. So we don't
Got you.
suggest the changing steps. That's one thing they need, or the URL step afterwards. After they change tabs, they need to handle going to a page in that tab if they're trying to work in it.
Okay, now if I open a tab naturally, just clicking plus and then typing in the URL, that is captured, right?
This URL will not be captured.
Okay.
The URL you entered in the go to page step will not be entered. So if I go to
So,
Bing
yep.
here, it only suggested the change tab steps that we have here of 4.
Okay, so when I change a tab, I have to also then capture the URL with
Correct.
that
So what we
capture
should do
URL
right
step.
now, now that we
Yep.
open tab 4, is we should
Okay.
go here and click go to page,
Okay.
and then we should enter the website that we're on.
Okay.
So what I can do here is if we, what this automation then does is it goes to Google. Imagine change tab 1
That
being at the
that
very
should
top.
be, and we will make this change. That should be a nat. Is there a reason why we would not automatically suggest they do that right after this?
No, we should. It just this
Okay.
is a not very frequently used function, so this is
Yeah.
probably the most action this function's gotten in a while.
Great. So we will make it tonight that if you click if you click change tab or open tab or go to tab, you will be prompted here to enter the URL to make sure you capture that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Um,
Okay, and
does
that's
it
how
make
you
sense
play
how
with new
you would
tabs,
go
right?
I think the only thing I wanna make sure you make sense of, like, let's say right here, so imagine change tab 1 is above, right? That's like
Mhm.
it just happens. You're always on tab 1. We go to Google, we go here, and then we change the tab 2. If we wanna go back to the Google website, what would we do to this step then?
You would click that and then you would change that to 2.
Why would this one be I think you're saying 2 because it's 3 and you're just thinking reduce by 1?
No, 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 I'm thinking I thought it was number 2. Is it
Oh,
1?
well, Google is in tab 1. Yeah.
Oh, then you would change that to
Yeah, well,
tab 1.
that's I added a bunch, but yeah, so we go to 2 and then we go back to 1 here.
Correct.
If I do this, and then if I play this step, it'll change to Google for us.
But then do you have to recapture the URL again?
No, because we're already here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you leave off where you were on a
Okay.
tab.
Okay, great. So is that all with changing tab and dealing with other tabs?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know if this is helpful. Thanks, Kyle.